Uh, I think, yeah, they can hear you. We're live, by the way. It went through. I think we're live. Oh. I think, yeah, they can hear you. We're live, by the way. It went through. I think we're live. Oh. Good morning, guys. This is a quick voice check. I did have a couple of hiccups while trying to get this live stream up, so let me know if you guys can hear me, because I'm not entirely sure if we are live or not, because I'm using a different platform. Oh, okay, I see the live chat now. So yeah, let me know if you guys can hear me okay, if the audio is all working right, if the audio is too loud, if the audio is too low, if the music's too loud, etc. It's time. Let's get this show started. We're about to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. My name is Sean Dexter, and I welcome you back to the Mango Grove for your daily Bitcoin stream, Bitcoin downstream, whatever, chart analysis stream. We have a lot to talk about, and I have a special guest with us today, the beautiful, the gorgeous, the radio voice, Krisha Crash Talk herself. Krisha, say hi.
And what's up, you guys? Welcome to the Grove.
There we have it. That's one of the reasons why we did take a couple extra minutes this time around to just get set up. I did have a few audio issues trying to sync Krisha along with the music, and do let us know if the music's too loud, if the music's too soft, if Krisha's too loud, if Krisha's too soft. I can go ahead and adjust her from my side over here. So before we get started, you guys give us the A-OK, because we don't want to miss out on Krisha's wisdom, because Krisha does have a lot to tell us today, right, Krisha?
Yes, sirree.
Yes, sirree. So let us know, guys. Can you guys hear Krisha A-OK? Is the music too loud? Because from my panel over here, it does seem like the music's too loud. But I'm going to let you guys tell me. I'm trying to find my chat.
The music is too loud.
The music's too loud, eh?
Yeah. I think it just like picked up like very suddenly.
I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. It's hard to balance Krisha along with the music, even though I have a volume mixer over here. I do have a virtual, like a splitter kind of thing. How about now? This should be way better.
Give us a thumbs up, guys. Okay, my levels are good, apparently. How about the music? Is the music still loud?
I'm enjoying the music, though.
Okay, so the music is good now. Perfecto!
Hey, isn't it a good thing that I double-checked to people instead of just getting it started like we did the last few times we did this, Krisha? Turned out to be a complete mess.
Yeah.
All right, so Krisha, Bitcoin. Do you have any starting thoughts? Everyone wants to know: is the bull market over?
It's okay, I'll be honest with you, just TA. I'm just looking at the TA, and you guys know that I usually look at the weekly time frame, right? It's always about those macro time frames here at Mango, because that's what really kind of smoothens all the data up for us. And my thoughts on this is that, Sean, we lost weekly structure. Okay, we lost weekly structure where, you know, way underneath that weekly 21 EMA that historically has proven to be a very good reference point in, you know, to help us determine whether or not we are in a bull market or whether we are in a bear market. And so far, I understand that the weekly has yet to close, right? But
it's not looking good, eh? It's not looking good.
It's looking bearish.
All right. So
What about you?
My thoughts are not going to help people. Okay, they're not going to help people. All I know is that I had a plan at the start of this bull market, and I was going to execute according to that plan. A lot of what we're going to be saying over here is going to be like, oh yeah, he said that back last year. Oh yeah, he said that back 6 months ago. Oh yeah, he said that back 4 months ago, right? So I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm not reacting to any new events on the chart or new news events with Elon Musk, etc. We are following our plan, which is why it's so imperative, guys, all of you at home, to like lay out your plan, long-term plan, mid-term plan, short-term plan, because that way when we have moments like this, like we did yesterday, which was a crazy day, by the way. Those of you, a little side note, those of you who survived and are here with us today, these are going to be your battle scars, your stories that you're going to be telling the people in the next bull market, the next bear market to come. You'll be like, oh man, there was this one day where this happened and that happened. Elon said this and the market went to shit. Oh, it was crazy. These are your battle scars. This is what crypto is all about. People said that we're not going to see volatility ever again. I always disagreed with that, and we're seeing it right now. Anyways, going back to what we were talking about, one of the things that we always had as a base thesis going into this run and the previous COVID bear market too, before the COVID dump happened, right, was we are likely going to start seeing shorter bursts of bull runs and bear runs, right? Like instead of having those big long bull cycles and long drawn out bear markets because of the money printing, because of the way, and this was before COVID. Again, this was before COVID. COVID just exacerbated the situation. Money printing exacerbated the situation. It was already bad before that, right? Because of the way money flows through the markets, we were going to see things happen faster, right? So bull markets happen faster in shorter bursts, bear markets happen faster in shorter bursts, which made it really very important to not try to draw one-to-one conclusions or parallels to what happened in the previous markets. But at the same time, structurally, there were things that we could take away from the previous bull markets that we could use to our advantage going into this market, right? So I disagreed with the bulls, and I disagreed with the bears as well going into this, because I don't agree that, one, we're going to see a long bear market that's going to last years, right? So in that regard, you may disagree with me and completely say that, wait a minute, if it doesn't last a long time, if it doesn't last at least 1 year, it's not a bear market. That's fine. Okay, if your definition of a bear market is different, if your definition of a downtrend is different, it's irrelevant, right? At the end of the day, how you trade it is what matters. Okay. At the same time, I disagreed with the bulls who said that, hey, because we did not see a blow off top, it's not the top. We're likely going to go up. Without a blow off top, we're not going to see a breakdown. I disagree with that too. And people will say, this is one of the narratives that were going out there, that in the previous bull markets we have come down, right? We've broken daily levels, and we bounced off the 21 EMA and bounced right back up, right? Which, yes, they were correct, but the difference, okay, in every other market, in every other breakdown in the previous markets, like, so for example, let me lay out the bull thesis. The bull thesis was, we have dumped around 20%, 30%. We're likely to bounce over here because the volatility in the current market phase is not going to be as much, blah, 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 blah. We're going to bounce. Each time we've come down to 21 EMA, we're going to bounce. And I wasn't too sure on that, right? And why? Because if you go back and look at the previous structures, each time on the weekly time frame, if we have broken down, the bounce was immediate. The bounce was immediate and the continuation was immediate. The market did not give you too much time to get into your long-term positions, right? It gave you maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks max. How many weeks did it give us here? 1, 2, 3, like, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? Where did we get into our bull positions? Over here, where we were wrong clearly, and then we tried for one more, I think, over here, right? And then both of them failed. At that point, I did not get bearish on Bitcoin, and we'll talk about that soon, but I gave up on taking any long trades on Bitcoin because this was taking far too long, and I was no longer as bullish midterm, at least, on Bitcoin, which is why I started putting up the pedal on altcoins. Now we can talk about that too, how things morphed over there. But Kusha, any questions on that? Because I've been speaking for a long time.
It's funny that, we're talking, like, we're at this juncture where price has actually fallen. Well, I mean, this has been a good, 50%, right, since our all-time highs.
Yeah.
And in fact, just like this past December, now for those of you who have been with Mango for some time, especially the seedlings, you guys know that Sean has been, he proposed this thing of Bitcoin actually seeing these tops in the summer.
Yeah.
So, and this is exactly how things have sort of unfolded thus far, right? So, I mean, okay, first off, what made you look towards the summer as the time wherein, we're going to actually see these pullbacks? The market may very well take a switch.
Again, like, it's not a fancy answer. You'll see a lot of wave experts draw like waves, and they'll draw pullbacks saying that this is Elliott wave, bounce A, B, C, blah blah. You don't need to get that fancy. All of that has credence, by the way. All of that has validity because it stems from trend analysis, right? If you guys are on the C program, you guys know that we dive into trend analysis, advanced trend analysis, and we talk about how almost everything from TA is derived from trend analysis. Elliott wave theory, even support and resistance, actually is a derivation of trend analysis. That being said, Kusha, that was the answer. Essentially, trends not lasting as long as they usually would, right? So the bull market phase not lasting as long as it did in the last two markets. And we were likely going to see it end way sooner than people thought, right? Because of that thesis, that base thesis that we're going to have a shorter, not short. It was 6 months, right? What was it? Essentially, so having a 1 year bull phase, we had a 6 month bull phase, which is pretty good still. You can still make pretty good gains on that. And then we go into a bear phase, right? Where again, it won't last as long, because remember, the bear phases in Bitcoin have already been lasting around a shorter time compared to the bull phases, right? So if you go again, you compare the two, and relatively, I wouldn't be expecting this pullback to last too long either, especially with the flush out that we've had thus far. So yeah, that's how I kind of came up with the I think I said June or July. I think I said June, right? And it happened May 15th, May 19th-ish, where we had the massive breakdown. So
yeah,
saying it is one thing, but trading it is another thing, right? And that's what matters at the end of the day.
So you, I mean, do you think that we're in a, we've entered this bearish phase, irrespective of the time, irrespective of the time horizon of this current phase that we're in? Are you too leaning bearish here?
I'm long-term bullish on Bitcoin in terms of the macro perspective. I'm still bullish on Bitcoin. I am bearish in the midterm until we clear some certain levels. I will not be putting... Okay, it boils down to this, okay? And I said this to you guys months ago before we went into this parabolic run. 4-day dynamic, okay? Kusha, if you turn on your 4-day dynamic, I've been saying this. We posted a bunch of screenshots before Bitcoin even got to 30,000, right? Before Bitcoin got to 50,000, and we said that the 4-day dynamic is going to be our line in the sand before we get bearish to the point where we put on short rates. And that's why I reiterated and emphasized, getting bearish is one thing. Whether you're trading bearish is what really matters, right? So you could make the argument that I was bearish for the summer because I was talking about it all the way back in what was it, November, December, when we were like looking into this huge run happening. But I did not trade it, right? So it doesn't really matter. I did not trade it towards the downside. I did not trade Bitcoin towards the downside. I got less aggressive on my bull trades as soon as we broke down over here. But until we break the 4-day dynamic, I will not be looking for any short trades on Bitcoin. And Krisha, like if you do put on your 4-day dynamic, guess where we bounced off it? Guess where we bounced off? We bounced right off the 4-day, the tip of it, of the 4-day dynamic. It's been the line in the sand, and the market proved that to us once again. That was actually a really good opportunity for at least a bounce rate, which, by the way, I did not take on leverage, but we did buy spot Bitcoin.
Yes, sirree. In fact, guys, my so this is a running joke in the seed community. I have a family indicator. So usually, when Bitcoin or any of these really mainstream altcoins go wild, my family usually calls and they're like, "Oh, should we buy in?" But this time, on the dump, now think about it, Bitcoin has dropped 50% since, well, 60K, right? My mom sends me a text message yesterday saying that, should I buy now? Should I buy Bitcoin now? I'm like, wow, I should be proud.
Yeah.
Usually people, they scurry off when price dumps, when there's blood on the streets.
Yeah,
But no, she came in.
I was
very proud. Yeah, it's very...
So, Kusha, should we go on over to the chat? Speaking of being proud, by the way, I do want to talk about how proud I am of the entire community, especially the seedlings. I was really busy yesterday, trying to balance pizza day. It was pizza afternoon for Kusha and me, and also with everything happening with our trades. Right, in the morning I was busy managing positions, and in the evening I had to manage positions as well, and when I came to see chat, I was like, wow, everyone's like so supportive, so positive. Everyone's talking to each other, looking for opportunities, looking for the next. By the way, thank you, Rob, for showing up and handing. Just that support that the community had. It was just wow. Compared to other communities I've been in the past, nobody was depressed, nobody was sad. Everyone was just like focused. And yes, we all got hurt, right? We all got hurt from the markets. I took a loss on my debit account. It was a wound to my ego. Even though the altcoin positions all came out way ahead, we can talk about how that ended up happening. But that debit position was like, oh my god. Yeah, but we can. I am extremely proud of all of you in the Mango Grove, all of you in the Mango Seed program. Like it was really something to see yesterday. So thank you so much, guys. You guys are really making all of this, everything that we've done over here worth it. So
yeah, you guys have been freaking on point, both the Grove and the Seed. In fact, yesterday we had a new Darius. He's one of our newest seedlings. He comes in and he's like, wow, everyone is in panic except for the Mango community. So think about that. Big major props to both groups, the seedlings as well as all the people in the main Grove chat.
Yep. I actually do want to pull out a couple of screenshots that so I got a lot of PMs. So by the way, guys, I went through all my PMs today, not all of them, but I went through a lot of PMs today and replied to as many of you as I could before the stream. And I will be going through the other PMs after the stream. So for today, I'll be setting out just as much time as I can to go through all my PMs, because I got a bunch more that stacked up on the previous PMs that were already pending. But it's really important that I do talk to you guys one-on-one, many of you. But again, one of the reasons why I was feeling so good about everything that the community has done and what the community has grown to was because of some of the PMs I've received. I'm going to first pull out a PM from AJ. This one he sent me just before today's stream, so it was easy for me to take a quick screenshot. He said, hey, I typed this out on Sunday during the dip to the 21 EMA, but didn't send it to you for some reason. Sean, I really owe you a ton. Had I not joined the seed, learned about the position sizing, thinking like a trader and risk management, I never would have realized I was over positioned and would be freaking the hell out right now. I was able to properly balance my portfolio, prepare for this dip that we all thought was a possibility, and I'm looking for opportunities now instead of stressing out. My friends who are just getting into crypto now are asking me, where would I put my money? I'm going to look at them straight in the face and say, education. Mango Seed is the real 10x opportunity. Now, I'm glad you said that about Mango Seed. It's really that kind of thing, right? Really, and I said that to you too, AJ. It's the kind of thing that really makes me feel like all that effort and the love and the heart that I put into building the Mango Seed program was all worth it at the end of the day, because like I've told you, man, it's not a typical program, right? And you've constantly told me back that, you know, it's exactly what we're looking for. And when I was building the program, I doubted myself. I doubted whether people would appreciate a program like this that is so atypical. But when you say something like this, it makes me feel good. But the reason I wanted to show the two screenshots I'm showing today is the importance of the risk management, right? The importance of at the end of the day, right, while the bull market may give you guys crazy gains, right, your Dogecoin will pump, your Shiba Inu will pump, it will mean very little if you don't have that risk first approach. And a lot of people were humbled in yesterday's move. Now, we all got hurt on yesterday's move. We all took some form of loss. Well, unless you guys put on short trades and actually caught that position, then props to you. Good freaking trade on that. But for example, I took a loss on my Bitcoin, my debit account on my Bitcoin. Debit is split into Ethereum, an Ethereum account and a Bitcoin account, right? So my Bitcoin account did take a hit yesterday, even though my Binance FTX accounts all went up. The wound is there, right? The wound is with me today. So we've all taken a hit over there. But if we did not have that risk first approach, that could have ended up in liquidations and getting wiped out. Blah blah blah. Markets will hurt you, right? You got to take those stabs sometimes to be able to get the big win. And that risk first approach is really, really important. Education first. Mango was always and always will be about education first, risk first, and profits as just a consequence. So thank you so much for this, AJ. Another screenshot that I got, and I'm not sure whether no, Sid did PM me saying that he's okay with me letting people know that this was him, but I wasn't sure whether he'd be okay with it because it does have some sensitive information. But yeah, this is from Sid in the Mango C program, and he said, hi Sean, our last conversation impacted me drastically on my trading journey. So Sid has been struggling with a few things over the past few months, and this conversation happened a few weeks ago, like I think 3 weeks ago, and we had a phone call. I had to talk to this guy over phone because I needed to say some things and be stern with him, right? Sometimes you just you got to put out hard you got to put out tough love because people don't listen otherwise. And I was getting frustrated with him myself because he wasn't listening to the core message. And he says, hi Sean, our last conversation impacted me drastically on my trading journey. Not just it's not that I just revisited all the modules again, but I also watched the older videos, blah blah blah, sharing my personal experience. I was dropped out of Sussex University because I couldn't clear the prep program, which I had to undergo because of my bachelor's degree. That experience was very traumatic and painful for me. Throughout my schooling and college experience, those experiences were horrible. Not once did I experience that I'm in college or school to learn something, but I always felt that I had to perform just to survive or they will fail me. Mango Seed is the only program where I felt this kind of education that I always crave for. Beautifully layered program. I have really great respect for you as a teacher, and here he goes on to say good things about me, which I feel really good about. And he says, I always listen to you with the utmost respect. And so two things, the two highlights over here is the fact that other education programs, institutions, universities, and schools make students feel like crap about themselves, right? And the second thing that I want to highlight was that he no longer trades without the risk management tool sheet, the RM tool sheet and the indicator as his first approach. So he goes risk first always, right? So the reason I wanted to put out this screenshot was that this is really important to me. This is really important to me because I've met way too many people with potential, who felt like crap about themselves because of the education system, because the teachers have made them feel shitty, or the education system has made them feel like failures. And I'm just going to come out and say it here. Krisha is one of them. Krisha was one of them, rather. Krisha really felt like she sucked at academics, that she couldn't study, blah blah blah, and I did not see that at all in her when I first met her. I knew that she could do things and do great things, and today all of my academic friends, because I did great academically, by the way, so I have a group of academic friends, all of them are surprised at the kind of things Krisha does. Krisha programs, Krisha trades, Krisha handles databases. She's really capable, and she's artistic, but the education system failed her. So for all of you guys out there who feel like you guys are not good at studies, you guys are not good at education, and you prevent yourself from going out there and studying and doing things that are challenging, don't let the education system, that is a crappy system, deter you from going out there and getting what you want, because you can, right? And you just need to find, and not just when pertaining to trading, right? Put Mango Seed aside, put me aside, anything else, any other subject that you wanted to be good at, you can find a teacher out there that will be able to give you that education that you wanted, right? Because even when it comes to science and medicine, right, there are great teachers out there. But yeah, the education system has caused people, and the entire system, the entire social structure right now has literally trained people to be bad traders, right? That the idea of you needing to get A pluses, needing to pass every exam, all of that overflows onto your trading. This idea that you need to succeed on every test, you can't accept failure. That's what the education system teaches us, right? That's freaking wrong. We need to accept failure. We need to be able to be wrong, because unless we get that into our subconscious, we will not become good traders. So many education systems, especially those in Asia, Southeast Asia, the Indian subcontinent, they push forward this, you have to pass, get A pluses, it's BS. Right? Because of that, we are afraid of failure. We have no tolerance whatsoever for failure, and you need to be able to accept being wrong to be a good trader. Period. Otherwise, you don't take your losses and then get liquidated. But holy shit, I ranted on there for a very, very long time. Kusha, are you even still here, or have you fallen asleep?
No, I'm right here.
Holy shit, yeah. But I have a big problem with the education system, and that's one of the reasons why I did show both of those screenshots, because what AJ said and Sid said, it really hit me in my heart, because that's what I always intended of doing with Mango. Not just teach trading, but even other things, right? Whatever I can. Xavier says, take it easy, buddy, you're gonna get a heart attack. Yeah, I will.
Sean's very passionate, especially about education. In fact, he's actually been teaching me since I was like 17. It's been like 10, 11 years now. And he's freaking phenomenal. He's been a phenomenal teacher. Okay, so now let's take some questions. What do you guys think about the current market condition? For Bitcoin, are you guys leaning bullish? Are you leaning bearish? I'm hearing that some people think there's going to be a dead cat bounce and then more sideways action, or probably another dump. What are your thoughts? Any questions out there? Let's take some questions.
So Tan has a good question. He says, "Hi Sean, so are you and Kusha both he says, so you saying you and Kusha both got bearish on BTC after that green spinning top candle on the weekly failed to close above the previous all-time high?" No, Kusha got bearish. I did not. Kusha was bearish, and she actually wanted to put on short trades, and I refused to put on short trades. So Kusha was a lot more aggressive than me in that regard. I was of the mentality that it's a bull market. Until I see the big signs I'm looking for, I'm going to only look for bull trades, right? I kept it that simple, and I was not seeing bullish trades on Bitcoin anymore, so I started taking bullish trades on all coins, right? So we got that huge Cardano win, and then that Matic win just before the dump. So I was looking for bull trades. I kept my eyes aligned, and I'm still only looking for long trades. I'm not looking for short trades. And if I don't see any long trades whatsoever, well, then I'll trade the ranges, right? I'll trade the ranges. Even my short trades will be just range trades. So I can short from the top of the range towards the bottom of the range, but I will not be looking for any trending trades. At the moment, I'm not seeing any. At least I haven't taken a deep look, but I'm not seeing any long trades on Bitcoin. In fact, Bitcoin is right now looking like a better short than it is looking like a better long. Like we're sitting underneath. We've not closed this 4-day candle just yet, but we're sitting underneath the top of the 4-day cloud. If we close above the top of the 4-day cloud, there's no reason for me to look for short trades. Right, but if we close underneath, that will there's a range trade from around 41,000 all the way back down to around 32,000. So no, I did not get bearish, but Kusha did. Kusha, why did you get bearish? Why were you so eager to put on short positions on Bitcoin? And she was eager, by the way, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not okay. Yeah, short positions. I wanted to hedge. I don't think I'll ever be net short Bitcoin ever.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, on a fundamental standpoint, like I believe in this technology, and long term I am still bullish. So what really got me bearish was, honestly, I mean, we tried breaching that 60k region 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and we were met with rejection on all 4 times. And this candle that came in, so last week's candle started 10th of May. Once again we tried, once again we failed and broke back down. And what did that form? Now this is a pattern play that almost everyone caught, right? Which was that beautiful head and shoulders pattern. And I'm looking at that, I'm like, the structure is weak. It's clear that the rejection is in, and the one level that I was sort of harping on about, even in the C chat, was this $55,000 region. So it's like every time we took it out, we lost it. Like it was like a continuous struggle for the bulls. And that's what sort of, kept me, that's what kind of got me really uncertain about us actually seeing that continuation. And I proposed sort of, putting on a couple of hedges for my, my overall Bitcoin position. And so Sean and I were having like a back and forth, because Sean was like super, super bullish. And he says, no, we do not have that confirmation yet. And any sort of move right now would be a premature move. And the thing is that I could not argue that, right? In fact, even if I went on to put, hedges in place, I would be going against my system, against my rule set. So I had to just kind of stay firm, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait on confirmation. And more often than not, I mean, we're seeing it right now, right? We will see like a volatile break to the downside, and it's not the first time we've seen it. Volatile break to the downside, losing structure, but you usually get a really, really good pickup from price. So we saw that in the 20K region last bull market. We saw that at the 14K region as well. So it price essentially comes back up to give you that lower high that that gets set in, and that's your confirmation.
Yeah.
That is your confirmation. The thing about a lot of traders out there, I'm noticing that people they're not okay just catching the meat of the trade. People either want to catch tops or they want to catch bottoms. And in a pursuit of catching tops and bottoms, you end up giving back more to the market than you can afford to give back.
Yep.
You'll end up giving back a lot in profits because you're not willing to let the tops and the bottoms go. And the thing about me is I'm willing to sit through these sort of drawdowns because I'm okay just catching the meat of the trade. I'd rather get a confirmed sort of sell or a confirmed buy, right? When I say confirmed, I'm talking about a high probability trade at this point. I'd rather get a high probability trade in than kind of just going against my rules.
Yeah.
Because that has costed me big time in the last bull market.
Yep. Nope. Completely agree with everything that you just said, Krisha. What we can do, by the way, is kind of like critique ourselves, critique what we could have done better, what we can do for next time, because just being steadfast on your ways is never a good thing, right? So there are a few things that I don't think that I'm going to change in my trading behavior, but there are a few things that you guys can probably use if you guys are more comfortable being on the other side of the macro trend in a bull market or bear market, right? So for example, you could have spotted this in a bear market on the reverse side, right? If you see a opportunity to take a long where we could like bounce in this situation, macro bullish. So looking for a short trade would be going against the macro trend. And I'm noticing something over here, Krisha, that we should have spotted, or at the very least, we probably did spot it subconsciously, which is why we stopped taking any long trades. But we should have spotted the potential of this having a massive breakdown a little bit earlier, because it reminded me of what happened just before the COVID dump, right? So, and the COVID dump we were prepared for. We were a lot more keen and looking only at Bitcoin and not looking at any altcoins, right? Because we were underneath certain levels where we weren't super bullish on the macro side. So we were looking for potential short trades. Over here, because I was just not willing to entertain short trades, we didn't talk about it. But like you said, that lower high, Krisha, you see that area where we came in and put in a candle. I'm looking at the daily candles at around 59,200-ish, right?
Yeah.
In a way, right, you could look at that as a very trappy setup, which was, in my opinion, a big trap. Now, when you look at what followed through or right after, because we did get trapped over there, right? We did take a long trade over there. Underneath, we took the long trade, and we looked for continuation above. So there were two traps in this entire setup. One on the head, where we took a long and we did not see continuation, and two, where we took a trade in this region over here, and we did not see continuation. But what we failed to really highlight was that, hey, wait a minute, there are going to be people who are trapped, just like how we gone to long over here. There are going to be people who gone to long at around 58,000, 59,000. That's a very valid position, but the market very quickly reversed to the other side, not giving them much time to actually get out of their position. So we have a lot of people who are caught offside on that, and that actually led to your right shoulder. And this, by the way, guys, is the psychology of a head and shoulders, where the bulls are all looking for continuation, but the market continuously fails to push higher, right? So we get a weak push towards the upside to put in your first left shoulder, or rather, let me put it this way: we get your push towards the upside, get a rejection by the bears, right? So push towards the upside, a rejection by the bears, The bulls push again, but this time a little bit less impulsively, or the strength is not there, right? And the bears are able to push it down one more time to give your head, and then you get a pullback where the bulls try one more time, right? And they fail again, and that's when you get the bears really getting aggressive, and you see all of that here, and you get the flush. So we had the head and shoulders that Krisha has been talking about for maybe a year now, right? One of the most aggressive head and shoulders that you can see, which is your left shoulder, your head, and a drooping right shoulder. And these head and shoulders, Krisha tells us that we are likely to see a massive quick move. It's not a layered breakdown like you'd usually see where you get something like this, right? It's a quick move towards the downside, and that's because the sellers are getting more and more aggressive, and the buyers are trapped in their positions, and that's what causes liquidations. And that's what we saw, right? A lot of people got liquidated during this move. What do you think, Krisha?
No, I agree. I mean, so it was the takeout of that previous low, right? We broke down that, and then we went back up to put in the right shoulder. And as soon as you see a drooping neckline like that, guys, that is your first sign of mounting technical weakness on the chart. Okay, especially if you're someone leaning heavily bullish and you're looking to take those long trades. By all means, if it fits your system, take it, but be very, very careful and vigilant when you see structures like this, because this is your first tip. This is telling you that the buyers did not step in. The buyers actually let that support go. Right?
Exactly.
So that is your first sign of mounting technical weakness. When you see that drooping neckline, understand that when it breaks, it's going to break fast.
Yep.
It's going to be volatile as hell. It is going to break fast. Yep. You know something, Sean? This is something that we were talking about yesterday, actually. Bitcoin this time, compared to the last bull market. For those of you who've been in the last, who were trading the last bull market, Bitcoin has actually been very clear this time around in terms of its, its pumps as well as its dumps. Just check out yesterday's close, right? Yesterday's daily close. We not only lost the cloud, Sean, we lost the cloud, had a very clean test of the cloud.
Yeah.
And then flush.
Yeah. So that was our big clue, right, Krisha? When we lost, when we broke underneath the cloud. So Bitcoin has been following a very, very typical cloud setup, and I was looking for this to flip bullish over here when we got the bearish TK cross. That was the big, not the big first sign, but that was the first sign, right? The weak bearish cross is what we call it. And I was hoping for this to flip bullish again, where we cross the Tenkin and the Kijun bullish above the cloud, and price start drifting into this zone over here at around 61,000. Now, this is where people are blaming Elon Musk, blah blah blah. And guys, don't blame anything that happens on the charts on any singular event, right? Because there's always a way to kind of find technical weakness on the charts before the event actually happens. So don't blame Elon, right? It's always our fault, all right? Anything that happens to us in the markets is our fault. It's not Elon's fault. It's our fault. Okay, take responsibility, all right? Once you learn to be okay losing, and once you learn to take responsibility, you again start seeing far more success in your trades. Okay, so we're back to what we were saying. We got the bearish TK cross, broke into cloud, got the edge to edge too, Krisha, and then broke underneath the cloud. And one of our plays after is that once you break underneath the cloud, you have a move into the 200 moving average, right? And it wasn't worth trading that for me, like even on a range trade, only for a 7% move, especially in a macro bull market. But here's where it gets really, really interesting, Krisha. We saw the move to the 200 moving average, and I believe, right, we start closing multiple 4-hour candles underneath the 200 moving average, which is at around 39,000. Yeah, right over here. So as soon as we close this 4-hour candle underneath the daily 200 moving average, literally right after, Krisha, we saw the big flush down. As soon as we saw, I think that lined up to the 12-hour candle close too. So the 12-hour candle close underneath the daily 200 moving average, which by the way, guys, is very, very similar to what happened during the 10K to the 14K range where we were trading in July 2019, right?
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, the 12-hour time frame against the 200 moving average was so important. And again, same story over here. We closed a 12-hour, 4-hour candle underneath the daily 200. And Krisha, we got the flash.
Yep. Yep, that cloud is king, man. That cloud is king. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, uh-oh.
Yep.
Here goes Bitcoin. The bear is taking over. Okay, so let's talk about targets. Okay, and when I say targets, okay, how about this? I'll start.
Let's take a few questions from the chat before we
Okay, yeah. Let's do that first. I want to see what people have to say because I'm sure a lot of people have. I want to know, do you guys have questions about Bitcoin in terms of structure, you know? I'm surprised people are not asking too many questions about Bitcoin. It appears that the spotlight is currently on Cardano.
So yeah, we actually posted Bitcoin 40,700 now, already bouncing very aggressively. Cardano $1.75, pretty nice bounce on Cardano, big flush out on Cardano by the way yesterday. So if you guys were following us on the Mango Discord chat, on the C chat as well on the Grove chat, we posted this screenshot where Cardano put in a very, very bearish structure that morning, right? We put in a very bearish structure, and this rejection right over here. Okay, we didn't even push up too much, and that's what I don't like. That's what I did not like at all. And then the breakdown underneath, while the rest of the altcoins did not break down just yet. We had a few coins showing weakness, but Cardano was looking the weakest. And we posted this on the Grove chat as well as the C chat. So if you guys haven't joined the Mango Discord yet, go ahead and join. It's available at themangoway.com/discord, and you can get into the chat. I posted this, and that's when I was out of my Cardano position, right when I saw this this candle here. I started exiting exiting really aggressively. I didn't leave a single Cardano at all. When pertaining to my other positions though, like Ethereum, etc., I left those. I shuffled out of many of them and got into Bitcoin heavily because of what Cardano is doing, giving us that sign, right? Bitcoin is looking weak too, don't get me wrong, right? Bitcoin was looking weak too. But Krisha, if we go ahead and turn on the Bitcoin dominance chart, and this is what I said specifically on the chat, I am not willing to basically the combination of what the altcoins are doing with their parabolic moves towards the upside and then showing technical weakness. Like Ethereum had not broken down just yet, but was putting in a weak structure as well. Cardano put in a weak structure as well as broke down. We also had Bitcoin dominance now on a major monthly level at around 39 to 41. We've been looking at this level for a long time, suddenly showing signs of life. So we were seeing Bitcoin dominance stutter step while all coins were showing weakness on Bitcoin coming down to major support levels on its USD time frame. We were coming down to 40 levels, weekly levels, like structural levels that we've broken out of months ago. We're coming down to those levels. It was just looking like way too much of a risk to have too much altcoin exposure, which is why we started rebalancing that morning. And again, we talked about that, and there was someone from the Grove who actually said to me, and this was a big red flag too. He said, I don't want to take his name. He said, Sean, are you seriously expecting Bitcoin to bounce more than altcoins over here? And that kind of overconfidence in altcoins is a red flag usually. And I'm not trying to disparage anyone. I used to be that way too. And now I'm still that way on certain things, and I catch myself. So if I hear myself saying, Sean, do you really expect Bitcoin to dump all the way down to 30,000? As soon as I say that, I'll be like, wait a minute. Because you said that, Sean, because you said that, Krisha, it's more likely to happen. That gives it more credence to that notion happening. Don't get cocky on the markets, guys. The markets will humble you, and the markets humbled a lot of people yesterday.
Sean, big props on catching the Cardano weakness. It was actually Sean who brought it up to my attention first that prompted me to act. It was a very quick thing. But no, I think everyone in this, I think the seedlings got the memo. I think you posted a screenshot on the seed chat first, right?
No, I posted on both. I typed it on Seed, and then I took a screenshot and posted it onto Grove, so I didn't have to type it again. I really wish Discord had a forward feature the way Telegram has the ability to forward messages. Discord doesn't have that, so it's a little bit more cumbersome to forward messages from Seed to Grove. But yeah, we got the Bitcoin dominance bounce that we're looking for right now. The question is, and we talked about this too in Grove, whether Bitcoin dominance bounces or not, whether all coins bounce or not, is not as relevant as what happens after. Do we put in a higher low or do we put in a lower low? That's what's more important now. Calling the bounce, all right, cool. That's done now. It's over. It's not important, right? Getting happy about that is irrelevant. Now the question is, what happens from here? Does Bitcoin put in a higher low here? Because guys, the downtrend that Bitcoin dominance has been following for a very long freaking time, 4-hour downtrend, it has been going on a 4-hour downtrend for a very long time, has just been broken. Okay, now the question is, do we start a daily uptrend? Because the daily, I would say honestly, the daily downtrend is broken too, but we haven't started a daily uptrend. If Bitcoin dominance starts in daily uptrend, I wouldn't want to be too exposed to all coins. So that's my thoughts, guys. Spotting technical weakness on Cardano, a market leader, and structural weakness on Ethereum allowed us to act quickly. And if we did not act quickly, did not act that morning, the pain would have been far more.
Yeah.
I still got humbled, right? So I had on my debit account, I did not have any long positions, or sorry, any futures position, had options positions, right? Very comfortable short puts. But now suddenly, with the volatility start picking up, right, and those puts are getting more and more expensive because again, IV was going up. I was like, oh my god, like this is actually going to start eating into my margin to the point where I would have to start worrying about liquidation risk. And those puts were expiring all the way on June 30th, right? Those like end of June expirations were June 28th or June 30th, and I was under the impression, I'm going to be comfortable. I'll take delivery of the expirations if I have to. No worries, right? But now suddenly, with implied volatility going up higher and higher, I was put under pressure. So I essentially got squeezed over there to take a loss when that was supposed to be a trade where there's no real way that I could have taken a loss on that trade, right? But again, there's always risk, and we account for that risk, which is why I was monitoring that position. And because I was monitoring that position, and this is another topic which I do want to touch on, having a clean hand, having a open hand. And we talked about this in the C chat yesterday. I'm not sure if Rob is still here, but Rob was in this position yesterday, while we were in this position during the COVID dump, right? Where you have no trades open, it gives you a clear mind to act on the opportunities that are in front of you. But because we had to manage positions, because I had to balance trying to firstly, I was selling all coins onto the massive bounce that we did have on all the altcoins, right? I sold into that bounce, and that ended up being a freaking great move, because we came out ahead on all our altcoins over there, and we'll talk about why in a bit. But then I had to also manage this position on my debit, right? All exchanges were being very sluggish. When volatility picks up, when market activity picks up, trying to even get into your exchange is scary, is frightening. Trying to send funds in to meet the margin requirements is now another hurdle. So I'm like, okay, should I send funds in? Will the funds even reach? You know what? Never mind. I'm just going to take the loss. I'm getting squeezed out of this position, so I have to worry about that. Instead of, if I did not have to worry about any altcoin positions, if I did not have to worry about being in that options trade, I would be looking for opportunities to take scalp trades. Somebody actually, AJ actually said, he's like, Sean, I'm surprised you did not take any scalp trades over here. And I couldn't, right? I couldn't, because my hands were tied. I did not have an open hand. So this is an example, guys, of not being in a trade is a trade. Because when you're not in any trades and the opportunity shows up, you're like, now I have a clear mind. I don't have to worry about anything. I can start getting into positions instead of worrying about managing positions, right? During the COVID dump, I was in that position. The COVID dump actually had long puts, so that I was making money. This time was a completely different situation where I had short puts, where I had to manage that, and yeah, so completely different situation, two polarizing situations. So I do want to touch on that idea of having an open hand going into a massive liquidation situation like this. Kusha, any questions on that? Because I think I
no, I was just I'm reading the chat as well as I was sort of listening to you. Also, guys, 99 likes and 342 watching. Come on,
wow.
Let's get those likes up, guys.
Yeah.
Let's show Mango some love.
We do have a question, from Danny Richardson. He says, "Oh no, I'll let you finish."
Okay, no. Sorry. Okay, no. I'll tell you what I was thinking about the open hand. I think that's extremely important because it's important more, more so for your mental, your psyche.
Yeah.
Because when you have a clear head and you don't have to sit and manage positions and stuff, and you have everything already sorted out for you, you're able to look at opportunity and act. And it's about acting and also being in the right trading mindset when you're executing your trade. So there were two actually two people from the Mango Seed program. I think it was IJ and Ashok. They both caught short positions on a couple of coins, and they've done pretty freaking well. I think one was on XRP. I think Ashok caught on XRP, and IJ I'm not entirely sure. But the fact that you can do that, I mean, it shows maturity and it shows that you were in the right trading mindset at that time. And for me personally, I need an open hand. I'll be completely honest. Yesterday, I did not take any short positions because I was in there managing my existing trades.
Yeah, and I was trying to juggle multiple accounts, trading on FTX, trading on Deribit, also trying to buy spot. So that was one thing that we did manage to do. That was the biggest mind equity cost, right? Just trying to get into a spot exchange, right? Because it was such a pain to be able to get in those buys. That was taking up way too much mind equity. So mental equity, right? This is something we talk about. There's equity that you're spending in terms of your mind too, because if you can't be thinking and doing multiple things at the same time. So always keep all of these things in mind. So yeah, I do, Kusha, by the way, since you mentioned IJ, I do want to give him a massive shout out. This guy was, both of us know, right? He's been he was struggling in the beginning of his journey, right? But he's been putting in a lot of hard work, and he had made a commitment to get into the Mango Seed Hall of Fame. He's like, I'm going to work hard and I'm going to do everything right. I'm going to try to get onto the Seed Hall of Fame, and he's almost getting there, man. He's almost getting there. This guy was really down on his portfolio, but he I think he came into the Mango Seed program with a massive loss, right? So he was sitting behind. Now, after being in the program for around 6 or 7 months, he just recently had a $100,000 win on a single trade that made up all those losses and then some. So this is one of the big first steps, right? To have that patience, that calm mind, and getting those getting that trend trade win that pays for those losses and then some. But I do want to say now, man, this is your first big win. The key now, IJ, is to focus on how you can keep that money, right? Way too many people, after getting those big wins, they get way too cocky, and they forget the core principles that got them there, which is risk first, right? We always say this: focus on the risk, and then the upside will take care of itself, right? That's what happened for you. That's why you were able to get that big win. Right, you were able to get the big win because you went risk first, and the upside took care of itself and ended up being a massive win, right? And we can't control the wins, but we can control the risk. But now, if you forget that and you try to chase more wins, you will not control your risk, and you will eat into your profits that you've had thus far. So, massive shout out to you. Really good job. This is just the first step, though. Keep it up.
Yes, sirree. Okay, so now let's take that question. I think you said you had a question.
Yeah, Danny Richardson, thank you so much for the super chat, Danny. Really appreciate it. He says, do you think Bitcoin will dip again? And from a hot shoe on the daily time frame, do you think XRP will dip to 95 cents? Cheers, peeps. Love the channel. Hey, man, appreciate that. So here's my thoughts on Bitcoin. Okay. We are coming up against the daily 200 moving average. I cannot get bullish until we start closing daily candles above the 200 moving average. Once we start doing that, then we can look for further upside. Until then, this is just an opportunity for people to load up shorts on this daily candle. At the moment, though, this is looking like way too generous of an opportunity for people looking to load up shorts, because it's on the lower time frames. We've come up, smacked up against it once, twice, 3 times, 4th, 5th time, bull flagging up against it. But again, the daily is the daily, right? We have to wait for that daily candle to close, and we'll find out more information tomorrow. Anybody telling you Bitcoin's going to reverse here, and they're saying that, if they're saying that with confidence, I'd be a little bit skeptical, because there's not enough information on the charts to tell you that Bitcoin's going to V-bottom over here in the next few days. Will Bitcoin recover in the long term? Yes, I fully believe that, and I'm trading for that, right? And yeah, that's one of the reasons why I did buy Bitcoin over here, spot. But would I be looking to take longs over here against the 200 moving average? Leverage longs? No. So that's, oh, and XRP. Krisha, I'll let you cover the XRP question.
Ooh, XRP, yes. So my last video on XRP, I gave you guys targets that actually went all the way up to $5. And yes, if that symmetrical triangle actually did break to the upside and the entire market did see continuation, I think $5 was definitely on the books. But what happened instead was XRP broke to the downside, so that symmetrical triangle is officially broken to the downside. And so far, I mean, we're testing that weekly 21 EMA, right? That's coming in at 87 cents. So what exactly, Sean, could you repeat that question for me?
The question was,
right now,
will we dip? Do you think XRP will dip to 95 cents? Cheers. That's what he says.
95 cents. Yes, I mean, it cannot be a definitive yes. Okay, I'll tell you what it is that I'm looking at. I think as far as the weekly structure is concerned, XRP has broken weekly structure. Okay, yes, we have also broken down of that that consolidation that was taking place that essentially gave us that symmetrical triangle. I'll say this, if it really depends on how price reacts off of its current regions of resistance. So right now, just look at the daily, right? We're currently hovering underneath, that Kijun, the daily Kijun. If price actually starts getting rejected off of that, then there's a good chance that we see 95 cents again. All right, so right now, so far, the weekly structure is broken. That is telling me that, all right, the bears are in control of this chart. If we start getting rejected off of our immediate points of resistance, number one being the Kijun, the other one being the breakdown point. Now, the breakdown point actually comes in at $1.30. We start seeing multiple rejections off that, there's a good chance that we come back down. As far as, now, the thing about trades, now this is something that I always mention in all the daily videos, is that, I mean, you can either have more upside, you can have downside, or help consolidation. If XRP has to actually, you know, have a reversal here, I'll be looking for price to take out $1.44. If we start living over $1.44, I'm saying that 95 cents may not be on the books, not immediately at the very least.
So when it comes to XRP, Krisha and I always have we can never come to consensus. I pretty much have I disagree with Krisha's analysis in the $1, what was it, $1.25, $1.30 region?
For the current region of resistance.
Yeah,
that's currently the Kijun, and I was looking at the breakdown. Yeah, sorry, the breakdown point comes in at $1.30.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, yeah, I agree with that. So, Kusha, I had a very simple base case for XRP that I've been reiterating for weeks now to people on the live stream who have been asking me about XRP.
Your thing has gone off. I cannot hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me?
Okay, yeah, better.
Okay,
much better.
Cool. Apologies. So, I had a base case for XRP. My essential thesis was that XRP is ranging between $1.70-ish and the bottom of the range over here at around 95 cents to 86 cents. So we had a zone at around 95 to 86. Right, that was a buy opportunity if it ever came down there again. And towards the upside, I was looking for XRP to start closing above $1.67. Now it did look like it was going to. I was looking at this as a potential ascending triangle, but like you said, we broke down over there. But now, interestingly enough, Krisha, we did come and we held that level really well. I'm surprised. I thought like with that dump on Bitcoin, XRP would at least wick underneath and test its 200, maybe 65 cents. That's huge. I get it. But XRP, man, held really well. I don't think it's ready regardless. I think it's still ranging. That's all it's doing. It's ranging between that major level of 168 and towards the bottom 95 cents. And until it does one of two things, it clears $1.65 or loses 95 cents towards the downside. So $1.65 towards the upside, 95 cents to the downside. I don't think this is doing anything. It's just a dead trade, just a range trade.
But who do you think is? I mean, there's got to be one side in Honestly, I think the bears are in control of this one so far.
Yeah,
I think the current range about this, I'll say this, the current range that XRP is currently oscillating in, it's a rather wide range. I mean, because XRP generally, even historically, has been a very, very volatile cryptocurrency, right? The current range that it's oscillating within is the topmost resistance comes in at $1.37. Bottom part comes in at 92 cents. Okay, that is the current range of price action that XRP is in right now. And I mean, by no means is that a small range. I mean,
no, yeah, that's true.
a
You're
good,
right. Yeah.
that's a good 50%,
It's very
right? That's a
tradable,
good
yeah.
50%. And yes, exactly, it's tradable.
Yeah,
it's a very tradable range.
You're right about that.
So far, there's no trend that has been established. All we know is that the weekly structure is lost. We'll really have to see where the next high gets put in. If I see another lower high on this chart, I'm like, okay, you know what? The bears are in control here.
So when it pertains to XRP, Krisha has a way better feel and a better read on XRP than I do. So I would really pay attention to what she's saying in terms of these key levels. She has a better gist of how it moves than I do. I tend to get XRP wrong a lot.
I get a lot of other coins wrong. Sean and I don't know, we gravitate towards really different looking charts. There's some charts that Sean looks at, I'm just like, what are you seeing here? I'm not seeing anything. And he'll take a trade, and more often than not, he does really well on that. And I'm just like, damn it. And I should have taken it. But the thing is that if I don't get the technicals behind it, I'm just not gonna take the trade.
Yeah. That's so important, right? This is why we always teach that it's your trading personality. You need to understand the concepts and the foundational concepts yourself, so that way you can find what gels with you as a trader. Everyone has their own trading personality, and you may enjoy taking certain trades that someone else would be like, why would you take that, and how did you take that, right? So Krisha and I, even though Krisha is like, she calls herself seedling zero, right? She's the first ever
I am the first ever seedling.
Yeah, even though she learned everything that I know, she trades very differently, right? Very differently. And in the beginning,
because I mean, ultimately, it's about the foundations, right? That you help us set in. It's about, as soon as you know the foundations, then the next step is to understand what kind of trader you are. Because more often than not, I mean, you guys will go out there, at least for those of you who are just sort of starting off, you're probably hearing a lot of noise. Crypto, Twitter, Facebook, all these Discord chats, Telegram chats, whatever. And you find this need to maybe, morph into, well, someone you're trying to aspire to be in these respective groups. The thing is that you're a different personality, right? And if you want longevity in this place, you need to play to your personality. That's how you, that's how you take your trade setups. Does your trading style fit with your personality? And if it does, that's when you see this longevity. And if it does not, then you'll see burnout.
Yep.
So it's these are important things. And to really to get to that point, you need those base foundations. And that's what the seed really gives. That's what the seed gave me. And that's why Sean and I are two very different traders.
Exactly. Everyone's different trader. So going back to the chat right now, Investor, thank you by the way for the super chat. I didn't notice your super chat up above. He also says right here, Sean sounds like he's not into XRP much, or how it's looking. Actually, XRP is looking better than a lot of the other altcoins in terms of how it held that key level. To me, I always said that if XRP came down to 86 cents, 93 to 86 cents, the zone over here, essentially, that would be a buy opportunity. And it did, and it bounced off it. So that shows you that, one, a key level that technical traders are looking at was being respected, right? So keep an eye on XRP. If markets do reverse here and we go into another bull leg, like, I would be keeping an eye on XRP. So I think Krisha had a target upwards of $5, right? That may still be on the table if the bull market keeps going. Remember, we have to wait for more information. Okay, no one can call bear market or bull market yet. There's no one can call the end of the bull market yet. No one. I don't agree that you can. There are different things you can say, right? But you cannot say that the bull market's over. It's not enough information. We may be seeing the signs, but it's not enough information yet, not in my opinion. Okay. Krisha, any questions you notice on the chat? Karima says, this is a confession. I made the same mistake on the 19th of Jan down move, 19th April and 19th May. I saw the signs, but did not get out in time ever. So 19 seems to be the unlucky number for you, Garima. No, I'm just kidding. But so you're noticing these things in yourself, right, Garima, where you're seeing the signs and you're not acting, right? I think this is the second time that you're mentioning this on the live stream. So you need to, so what Krisha and I did when we went through these pains ourselves as traders, we kept noticing we were making the same mistakes over and over again. We literally made a rule sheet, right? Bolded rule sheet with only like 4 or 5 rules, so that way we're not overwhelmed. And we printed it out, we got it laminated, and we freaking blew it up and posted it right above our monitors. So that way we're getting brainwashed into doing or following these rules. And our only goal was no matter what, whether we think we're going to make more money or not, just follow these rules. That was our initial movement towards risk first, right? We were willing to forego profits if it meant we follow our rules, right? And we started doing that, and we started realizing that, damn, because we did that, we avoided so much pain that other people are going through. And we slowly and surely morphed into doing that more and more and more. We got rewarded for following our rules, right? And the more you get rewarded for following your rules, it's a self-fulfilling habit that develops in yourself, where in the long run you're like, damn. And like, for example, yesterday, right? Yesterday was a huge example of people who are way over position on all coins felt the pain. All we did at Mango over here was follow the same thing that we've been doing for years, right? Really low leverage or no leverage whatsoever, blah 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 blah. Yes, we are boring. Yes, we are not fancy. Yes, we are not catching like massive 1000x wins on a single day. But when push came to shove, yesterday we were pretty much unscathed, right? Pretty much unscathed. Yeah. In fact, because of what happened, because I sold a lot of my positions on FTX into USD, right? Like, for example, Rune, I could only sell into USD. Dot, I was selling into USD. And also ADA, I had some other positions on FTX. By the time I got out all my positions, and then the Bitcoin dump happened, Bitcoin was sitting at around 35,000. And I had all of the spot USD sitting in my FTX account. I was like, wait a minute. I'm buying this. I don't even care whether it goes down or not, right? I'm going to be buying Bitcoin over here, and I don't care whether it goes down to 25,000. I don't even care if it goes down to 15,000. This is a good buy for me because I'm long-term bullish on Bitcoin. And I just market bought, and I looked at my execution order. I got filled at 33,000 or 32,000, something way low. I'm like, holy! And because of that, my Bitcoin portfolio overall went up way higher after this dump, right? Because that spread between when I sold my altcoins, I think Bitcoin was sitting around 39,000-ish, 40,000, I don't know, something way higher. And then we just by fluke managed to get in a good buy-in over there. So in Bitcoin terms, we came out ahead by just following our rules, and then because of opportunity, because of luck, because of the way things just played out, we came out ahead on Bitcoin terms. In USD terms, you guys don't want to hear the hit our portfolio has taken. You do not want to hear. But to us, it's the way we look at it, it's irrelevant, because USD is just money printer goes broke, right? Yeah, Kusha, any thoughts on that?
One thought, and this is where, you know, this is something that Sean and I, we keep repeating. Now, I say this in my daily video. Sean says this in his streams. Have that goal. That goal is very, very important. Now, we saw this market event where there was a volatile move to the downside, right? And now suddenly you're left scrambling around. And when you're there executing, you're seeing those damn order books move as fast as they do. I mean, it's heckling, right?
Yeah.
This is where having a goal is important. And the goal, when I say having a goal, this is what I'm talking about. Establish what you are here to collect, what you are here to trade specifically, right? Exactly. Are you here for the USD gains, or are you here for the Bitcoin gains?
Exactly.
Because that suddenly makes it very easy for you, right? That is your very first decision. That's the first decision you need to make.
Exactly.
Where are you taking your gains? What profits do you want? USD profits or Bitcoin profits? Because accordingly, then your moves, that would really determine where you make your sells. If you were here for the USD gains, now I was telling Sean about Ethereum, like Ethereum gave everyone a sign that, okay, you know what, it's up against resistance, right? These were levels that Sean and I were talking to you guys about in our previous videos. I mean, take some profits if it's USD gains that you want.
Yep.
Right? Bitcoin was still giving us those beautiful freaking trends that had no sign of giving in. So it's about establishing those little nuggets around your trade setups, right? Those little plans that will help you establish what your next move is. Your next move is the most important thing.
So
and having go on, Sean.
No, go on.
No, it pretty much is that, having a plan, because now think of, I mean, you're not going to be scrambling around, right? When it's crunch time, and when markets drop, it's crunch time.
Yep, and that's it, right? That's it. That's exactly what I wanted to highlight, and you highlighted it. That was the key message over there. Having a plan to just follow the plan during crunch time. And Garima, this goes back to you too. When things get volatile and you're doubting yourself, right? You need to have the plan, because remember what we talked about. There are two. You need to divide yourself into two people. You need to divide yourself into the person who's executing the trades, and then the second person is the person who is planning the trades, right? He's the manager, and the worker, right? When you're executing your trades, your job is to just follow the order that your boss gave you, that the manager gave you, right? You have to follow those orders because you're your own boss, right? But you need to act differently when you're a boss and when you are actually executing the trades. When you're executing the trades, you're just like, I'm just gonna follow what my boss said. It's his fault. If this goes to shit, it's his fault. It's her fault, right? Just execute that way. So your boss has given you orders. It's just you who've given yourself orders, right? But you got to divide those personalities. The boss says, I got to sell. If this happens, I got to sell. If that happens, I got to buy. If this happens, I got to buy. If that happens, the boss has given you those orders. Now, when you show up on your computer and you're ready to trade, when you're ready to execute, you just follow those orders, okay? If the boss messes up, if you follow those orders and it goes wrong, then you reevaluate with the boss, and then you ask yourself, does that boss need to be fired? Which essentially means, if you fire the boss, it means that you're coming up with a brand new strategy, you're reinventing, or rather you're reshaping how you look at the charts, right? But if you have a proper game plan, and we teach you guys the game plan here, right? If you follow very simple things that we teach, you'll find out that your boss will come out ahead of most market participants, and that's all you need. Keep it simple, keep it easy, keep it stress-free. So yeah, that was the key thing that Kusha highlighted over there, being able to execute during crunch time.
Yep.
So Mock asks, Sean, Nigel asked, Morg asks, Sean, Nigel asked, hey Sean, can you share a bit more about how you look at BTC dominance and bonds? What do you look for, etc.? Kusha, do you want to take this one?
I mean, I'll be honest here. I don't look at the bonds. I let Sean look at the bonds and give me information. But I do look at Bitcoin dominance. The way I dissect
credit, she does look at the bond chart too. But yeah, go on.
I mean, not as, okay, how about this? I look at the bonds chart, but not as often as Sean. Sean has a lot more, he has a better understanding of the macro view of all markets. Right now, he understands to a point, he knows how to sort of deduce, basically bring information in together and, form a thesis around it. My system is still not as intricate, but I do look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. And the way I kind of look at this is, depending on what Bitcoin is doing, I still look at Bitcoin as the market, what sort of drives this market, what drives the entire cryptocurrency market. Bitcoin is the market leader here. And depending on where Bitcoin is in its entire cycle, right? Is it in a bullish phase or a bearish phase? I first look at that. I establish an answer for that. Is it bullish or bearish? Get an answer for that, and that's when I get on over to Bitcoin dominance to see that, all right, is there going to be any opportunity as far as the altcoins are concerned? And depending on, I basically take the information together and I form a thesis around it. And based on that, do I really jump into the altcoins, or based on that, do I really start looking for opportunities on the altcoins?
Okay, so let's pose a scenario. Let's say you establish that we are bullish, right? And you see Bitcoin dominance is going down. What do you do?
Yes. I start looking for opportunities on the altcoins. Now, for example, we had this one time where Bitcoin actually broke this 49 on Bitcoin dominance. Apologies, we broke the 49 region support, right? We closed underneath it on the weekly time frame, and that's when I'm like, okay, you know what? I think this may, and Bitcoin was looking really good, right? We were still in that 55 to 60K range. I'm like, all right, Bitcoin is looking freaking bullish, right? Bitcoin dominance, however, is dropping. We lost a key region of support. And that's when I started looking into the altcoins. That's when I started building up my Cardano position again.
Yep, exactly.
Right? And that helped me. It was sort of bringing these two pictures together that helped me formulate a thesis for my altcoin positions. Should I get in? When should I get in? You know, when should I start looking for the dips, support regions, XYZ? So that's how I sort of bring the pictures together.
So
how about you, Sean? How do you bring bonds into the equation? Okay, go on.
The bonds. I don't use Bitcoin, and let's first finish up the dominance question.
Okay.
What if the flip side happens, where we establish that we are bearish, right? I do you mean when you say you look to establish whether bullish or bearish? Are you talking about Bitcoin specifically, or are you talking about the market, like
Bitcoin specifically?
Okay, so let's say you establish Bitcoin is in a bear market. Or rather, Bitcoin is bearish, not in bear market. Bitcoin is bearish.
Yeah.
And then you see Bitcoin dominance is going down. Right? We have a quadrant over here, kind of now. So we have Bitcoin being bearish and Bitcoin dominance is going down. Could you tell the audience what that tells you?
The audience, I like that. Okay, so Bitcoin is bearish and Bitcoin dominance is still dropping. That is telling me that the altcoins are holding stronger than Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So the altcoins are going to hold, yes, on the USD pairings, they're going to hold stronger along the regions of support than Bitcoin is going to hold. Telling me that on the dumps, Bitcoin is likely going to have a more volatile dump than the altcoins.
And what's the plan of action then? What's the trade?
That's a good one. I'll sort of... So in this instance, now this is we're at this juncture where we had this happen, right?
Yeah.
At that point, if the altcoins are holding stronger than Bitcoin, when Bitcoin, now in this case, Bitcoin actually hit its support, right? It's Bitcoin dominant support. And I started taking out my profits in Bitcoin, because if you notice yesterday, guys, yes, the markets were dumping, but all of the Bitcoin pairings freaking held. So that allowed me to cash out profits in Bitcoin. While keeping my Bitcoin profits.
I gotta give a quick shout out to Chirag Suresh, because he did answer the question right over there quickly, and I don't want to forget that he did. He says you buy more alts and you accumulate more satoshis. So, and I want to give him a shout out for getting the answer correct, but also want to highlight that people's goals might be different. If you don't care about Bitcoin, don't care about satoshi, then right, you have to listen to what Krisha is saying in this regard. So yeah, sorry about that, Krisha, go on.
But yeah, at this point, like I essentially cashed out profits in Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly. So what are your thoughts, Krisha, if somebody does not want to collect Bitcoin?
Oh.
Right, and they're more concerned about USD.
If you're more concerned about USD, first off, the Bitcoin pairings are moot. Even looking at the Bitcoin pairing is moot. Okay, your only goal here is to establish whether or not the underlying altcoin is in a bull market or a bear market. So look at that structure, look at the macro structure, because the macro structure is what's going to tip you off on that, right? So far we know that, okay, if you're playing Bitcoin against USD, Bitcoin lost its macro structure as far as that weekly is concerned. One that actually did not lose structure, at least I don't think so. Sean may disagree. Cardano, actually.
What?
I don't think Cardano has lost yet. On the weekly. It's had a very volatile
on the USD pairing.
On the USD pairing, it has not
no,
lost.
It hasn't.
There are a few that... So Matic is still going up as we speak.
Is freaking
Matic has not lost. Ethereum actually also has not lost. Cardano has also not lost. Now, these are only 3 that I have spotted personally. I've not gone through the list. VeChain has lost it. XRP has lost it. A bunch of other of the high MCAPs have lost it. But these 3, right off the bat, have not lost the macro structure.
So this bit, guys, like Krisha has gone through right now, is really important. Like, this entire segment, you guys should re-listen to her explanation and her conclusion over and over again. So yeah, it's really important, guys.
So I thought Cardano was looking very interesting, but I think from past experience, Sean, would you say that ultimately, you know, the beginning of any sort of market turn, we're going to see some outliers or laggards. Let's put it that way, laggards. Actually, no, laggards is too biased. Let's say outliers. I'm going to see some outliers.
Do we need to...
Sorry, go on.
No, I'll let you finish your question.
Do you think at one point, you know, because from what you've seen so far, from your experience, do you think they converge at one point? So the altcoins, the outliers converge into the market leader, as far as the trend is concerned.
So you mean coins that want... Oh, you mean the coins that showed strength during these kind of moves, do they turn into market leaders? Yeah, definitely, hands down. But here's my qualm with trying to pick a market leader at the moment. The kind of move that we've had, right? We don't know whether a lot of these moves are bouncing more so because of people covering their positions in terms of whether they were shorting Cardano, shorting Ethereum. There were massive shorts being placed on Ethereum too, by the way. So there's going to be a lot of people who are covering late into the trade, right? They realize that, damn, maybe Ethereum won't go down any further, it's already bounced so much, and they start covering those positions at high prices, and that leads to price going higher and higher. So we have to really make sure that these bounces have sustained trends that follow through. At the same time, we want to be keeping an eye on Bitcoin dominance and whether or not it starts putting in those lower lows, lower highs, starts breaking structure after the bounce, or does it start putting in a structure and starts putting in around the structure and breaking towards the upside? Because in that case, why risk being in any altcoins when you can just have the better trade, easier trade on Bitcoin? And that should always be our approach, where we're going stress-free, risk first, stress first, right? Where you can reduce the ratio of stress to profits should also be a factor.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. And also, like, now this is something that I keep telling Sean. I'm like, you know what? Every time there's there are times where Sean would be in an altcoin trade and I am not in any altcoin trade. I'm just sitting pretty in Bitcoin. Now, the thing is that all the on-ramps into the crypto space, like, what are the 3, you know, the few major cryptocurrencies you can actually get into right off the bat, just with fiat? It's usually Bitcoin, Ethereum, and yeah. Right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe USDT. I don't know.
There's nothing else, right? It's just Bitcoin and Ethereum.
But it's Bitcoin and Ethereum. So now, when you're in those, so when you buy them, okay, right off of the on-ramp, you switch your fiat into one of these 2 cryptocurrencies. You guys need to understand that by just doing that, you are already in a trade.
Yep.
Right? You're already, right off the bat, as soon as you start it, you're already in a trade. So your very next step is to understand, okay, am I just better off sitting in these cryptocurrencies and this cryptocurrency, or should I trade it for an altcoin that is that is getting some hype, like XRP or Cardano or
and Kisha, you and I talk about now there's a psychological benching that happens over there, right? Because whether you tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to be especially if you're a Bitcoin fan, this tends to happen a lot. You're going to tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to be putting in USD into the market, and I won't be comparing this, I won't be trading this asset to Bitcoin. I'll be trading this asset against USD. As long as it outperforms USD, I'll be fine, right? I don't care about it outperforming Bitcoin. But because you on-ramped with Bitcoin, right, you had to buy Bitcoin to enter the space. Now to buy the altcoin, right, you'll be using Bitcoin to buy the altcoin, and you can't help but constantly bench in the back of your mind that, hey, I paid so much Bitcoin for this altcoin, but now it's going down against Bitcoin, even though it's going up against USD. So you have to fight that battle mentally, where you told yourself, no, this is a USD trade, not a Bitcoin trade. So there's that aspect of trading as well. And the reverse happened as well. The flip side could happen, right, where you're converting from Bitcoin to USD, just to be able to get into an asset that is being traded only on USD on a certain exchange. For example, with FTX, I recently went through that, right? And I talked to you guys about that psychological dissonance that I had, even though I was up in Bitcoin terms, because I had to on ramp onto the trade using USD. It was like, I'm down USD but up Bitcoin. So even though mentally my trade was against Bitcoin, right, it's still kind of, I was like, I on ramped with USD, I could have got it cheaper, blah blah blah, should have just waited. So you got to fight all of those mental battles, because it just ends up being exhausting. Tan has a nice question for you, Kusha. He says, that's interesting, Kusha. Could you give an example of a chart difference that Sean noticed and you did not?
Oh God, there are so many. I remember there was one last, I think earlier this year or last year. Sean made a killing on this one. I think it was SXP. I think it was
SXP and Band, those two trades.
I think it was, yeah, SXP and Band. Like, I just didn't get it. I looked at the chart. I'm like, I don't know what you're seeing here.
Oh yeah, I think it was
Sean
SXP.
did so well. Sean killed it on those two charts. And let me tell you something. Like, you know the trends that we saw in the past 2-3 months now on many of the altcoins? Those coins did not establish anything as, extensive as anything as intense as these kind of trends. And Sean still came out freaking flush. Like, he came out so flush that he didn't have to trade all throughout the year. All the way up until December. We went on freaking break and whatnot, and Sean was still sitting pretty. And I remember sort of, I remember when he sort of cashed out and his profits. I'm like, damn it, should I have taken that trade? Because we usually know, like, Sean and I usually are aware of the trades that, both of us are in at any given point. And so when he took it, I knew that he took that trade. And I chose not to get into it because I just did not see the TA on it. Like, I'm like, I don't know what you're seeing here. And he was trying to show me what he's seeing there. I'm like, no, I don't see it. So I didn't take the trade on both those charts, Band and SXP.
And Krisha is really, really competitive. So she's really competitive. Like, if I work out, if I go to the gym, or I have a workout session, we rarely ever go to a gym without each other. But because of COVID recently, we've been working out in the garden, in the compounds, etc. And if I work out and she sees that, oh wait, you worked out, I'm gonna work out too. So if she sees that I'm doing really well in my trade, she's gonna want to do really well too, right? So Krisha really is really extremely competitive that way, which is what I love about her. Right? She pushes me too, and we're both that way. I'm gonna give her a hard time. But yeah. Let's see any other comments. Let's take a few more questions, Kusha, before we move on to
any questions on Bitcoin, anything on the market structure, cycle. Cloud is red, daily cloud is red.
Yeah, daily cloud is red.
Bearish.
Oh wait, Nigel, I have to answer Nigel's question. I'm not sure if he's here. He asked about bonds, and he PM'd me about it too. So I really want to answer his question. He PM'd me about it this morning, and I asked him to ask on live stream, and I'll answer him over here. So Nigel, to answer your question pertaining to Bitcoin dominance, combined with in conjunction with it, the bonds, I don't really look at them together, right? They are two separate things that I look at. But in regards to what the bonds are telling you, right? And and specifically over here, I'm looking at the US government bonds 30-year yields. So I'm looking at the yields more than I'm looking at the bonds. Essentially, this is giving me a representation of the yields, the risk-free yields that market participants can get by just putting their money in the bond market, right? So if you put your money in the bond market, you're getting right now apparently a yield of around 2.40, right? So 2.4% on that's risk-free, right? So the US treasuries are considered to be the risk-free rate of the world, right? Because reserve currency, etc., reserve status, etc. Now when you see, okay, so this is the market dynamic that takes place when you see the yields go up and higher and higher and higher. What market participants are thinking is, hey, in terms of risk allocation, right? So the big players are also always thinking risk first. In terms of risk allocation, why should I put in XYZ dollars into equities, into Bitcoin, into whatever other alternatives that they have, right? Other options that they have. Why should they put it in there when they can allocate a certain proportion into the bond market instead and get a risk-free rate of around 2.5%? Because remember, their position sizing is always risk adjusted, right? So for example, if I'm getting a Dogecoin position, right? Let's say I'm putting a Dogecoin trade because it could pump around 100%, 200%. My position size on Dogecoin is never, ever going to be close to my position size on Bitcoin, right? Because it's always risk adjusted, even with the gain potential. So my position on Dogecoin will be probably maybe 1/10 at max, right? 1/10 of my position on Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin needs to go up only 10%, right, for me to get this equivalent trade of I need 100% win on Dogecoin for me to get the same win on Bitcoin, only a 10% win, right? Do you guys understand what I mean? Similarly, you guys need to understand that 2.5% yield may not seem like much, right, to you guys, but position adjusted, a 2.5% yield is as good as a 25% win on trading the Nasdaq to a lot of these bond traders. Why? Because they'll put 10 times the position on their bond in the bond market, right? So you have to understand that if you can get a risk-free trade on your bonds, right, why would you put that money into the equities? So as soon as you see yields go up higher and higher and higher, there's less reason to have your money allocated in Bitcoin, in equities, etc. So if we see yields start breaking up over here, this potential bull flag breaking above the weekly 200 moving average, Krisha. So Krisha, put on your Ichimoku setup with the 200 moving average on the US government bonds. The 30-year, I'm looking at the 30-year at the moment. So US, the ticker is US30Y, right? You're going to see that we've been consolidating against the 200 weekly moving average. It's US30Y, so in case you haven't got it yet.
Yeah, no,
yeah. So if we break above here and we start going all the way up to 3%, 4%, 5%, 6%, that's ridiculous, right? That I don't think that's going to happen. But at that point, people will be asking themselves, why should I be in equities? And when you do the math, equities will start dropping drastically. You'll see drops of around 25%, 30%, 50% if we see those big crazy numbers on the yield chart over here. And Bitcoin will take a hit too. So we see this go up, Bitcoin will take a hit. We want to see this come down for Bitcoin to start seeing more momentum, right? It'll make it easier. Long term, Bitcoin will still do well, but if yields keep going up, in the midterm, Bitcoin and equities are likely to take a hit.
Yeah. So much going on right now. So much going on. So many charts to keep an eye out on.
Weekly dynamic at the moment, Krisha, is being held as well. Weekly dynamic is coming at around 36,940. 4-day dynamic was the winner yet again. 4-day has been was essentially where we took our trade, right, all the way down at around 9,800-ish, 10,900-ish. We built that big position, and now it's come down ever since the last time we hit it was the beginning of the year, Jan. We've literally come and put in a rounded retest back on over to the same level now. It's crazy. It's not moved since then. Even though Bitcoin deviated from the dynamic was like, nope, we are staying here. And Bitcoin came down to test it now.
Dynamic on point. Let's take some questions. What's everybody saying? Yusuf Golan, please don't spam. Don't spam. We'll go over. I think we sort of grazed over Cardano, but we'll likely look at the chart in a bit. Obina, what's up, man? Hello, where's the visual? What visual? Am I missing something?
Stan says, really interesting dynamic you have going on here in the stream between the two of you, Sean and Krisha. Nuggets of wisdom. Thank you very much, Stan. Appreciate that. Glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah,
Chirag asks, what's your top 4 of BTC this bull run, in your opinion? I don't have an opinion on that. I don't know, man. Julian Patrick says, thanks for that very good explanation, Sean, about the bond yields, risk, and position size. Makes a lot of sense. Hey, I'm glad. I felt like I did a really, really horrible job explaining that, but I'm glad it made some sense to you guys.
No, it's important to understand the dynamic, right? Because ultimately it boils down to risk and return. And if you're getting a better yield somewhere with very freaking almost no risk, why the hell not? That's pretty much how all these markets sort of tie in together.
Yeah.
Syed Salim, we're using TradingView, but TradingView.
Yeah, you can find a discount to TradingView. There's a free version as well, but I think there's a 1-month free trial for the pro version available on the mangoway.com/deals. Right, you'll get a bunch of discounts to a bunch of things that we use. Most importantly, Audible and Scribd. I really recommend using Scribd. It is a online library of books, audiobooks, and textbooks. And you guys get 2 months for free, right? Just use it and then cancel the cancel the subscription before the 2 months ends, right? That way you get 2 months of free freaking education. Can't get better. It doesn't get better than that, in my opinion.
Ribbit is the way to go.
Obina says, hey Krisha, I'm not seeing anything. Is that intentional? Is that just me? It's just you, man. What do you mean you're not seeing anything? I'm a little confused.
I think, yeah, Wolfie can see us. Right, Wolfie? It's like it's working for me.
Yeah. Kusha, we haven't looked at the dashboard. Do you want to take a look at the dashboard? The dashboard nailed it, eh? It called Bitcoin short literally, I think, a few days before.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, man. We should have just followed the freaking dashboard.
Yeah, it was short. It was short. It gave it to us.
Yeah.
And we're just silly bulls.
All right.
Yeah, Bitcoin on the daily time frame, Bitcoin gave us a short 1 week ago, actually. If you actually caught a trade on that, you're already up a good 20%.
After the bounce.
Yeah, after the holy shit.
That's
after
nuts.
The bounce.
It literally pretty much called the entire market. On the USD side, right? On Bitcoin terms, though. That's what... On Bitcoin terms, things are still long, Krisha. That's what matters. Long and neutral. Well, no, not really. TRX is short. XSP is short. Uni is short.
I have been burned in the last... I'm going to say bear market. In the last bear market. As soon as Bitcoin lost its structure... It's funny. We had some very similar dynamic, eh? If you kind of recall, Sean.
Yep.
So when Bitcoin is at 20K, right, last bull market. Now, for those of you who were actually here in the last bull market, you guys would also be able to sort of relate. When Bitcoin was at 20K, and it started like hovering, it was consolidating. It started doing, very, very similar things like losing some weekly lows, and only to then have a consequential bounce. And in that phase, we saw the altcoins run. That's when Ethereum freaking ripped from $300 all the way up to $1,400. Right? So we saw Ethereum make that move during that phase.
We had so many similar signs.
Exactly. So there were so many similar signs because at this point now, when Bitcoin was sitting at this 55 to 60K region, we saw Ethereum, once again, I'm just going to use Ethereum as the base case for the altcoins, do the same thing, right? Ethereum ripped as well, and then suddenly Bitcoin now has lost its structure. Now, if I had to sort of tie it back to what happened there, okay, now irrespective of I'm not looking at the fractal, I'm just sort of pitting, the two scenarios up against each other. And if when Bitcoin lost its 21 EMA, when it lost its structure for real, and it had that volatile 50% sell-off to the downside, the altcoins, it's not that the altcoins did nothing. The altcoins moved as well, and it moved to the downside. Okay, the altcoins also took a dump. At that point, the altcoins had hit its tops. Okay, Bitcoin took a dump. The altcoins then followed suit. And then every sort of rally after that was met with resistance, and that's when we saw those series of the lower highs being established. And the altcoins were not, they too were part of that bearish sort of momentum. It's not that they were outliers by any means. And it's what's happening right now, and I think that because Bitcoin has now taken this bearish turn and we've lost structure, we've lost daily 200 simple moving average, we've lost the weekly 21 EMA, I'm saying that even the outlier altcoins right now, I don't think they're going to deviate for too long.
Yep.
Okay. Exactly. Maybe I'm following the TA here. I'll be honest with you. I'm following the TA, and even right now, even Cardano, right? For example, Cardano is moving right now. While I don't think it's lost its weekly structure, I'll be keeping a very, very keen eye out on how it reacts off of its major points of resistance. Now, currently, we're up against one resistance for Cardano, right? So it really depends on whether or not we can get past these levels that will help us establish whether these coins are actually going to see continuation to the upside.
So I have a level for Cardano around $1.65. I'll be looking for it to close above that level before I think it did lose structure, at least mid-time frame structure. Unless it closes right above $1.61, in which case it'll probably retake it back. But I think it's just, I think the best play right now is if you're in crypto, you should be primarily, again, this is not financial advice, you should be primarily in Bitcoin right now more than ever, and just wait and watch. There's no reason, guys. We caught a lot of gains on all coins, right? We don't need to get greedy over here. Don't need to get greedy. The worst. Many of you don't realize it just yet, especially if you're new to the crypto space, but the worst feeling is losing Bitcoin in this kind of market, because at the end of the day, Bitcoin is still king. More and more of you are going to come to realize that over time, right? And today, or rather yesterday, all of you naysayers who said that the altcoin market is decoupling for Bitcoin were shown a reality check, right? We need to see that happen consistently over multiple breakdowns, over multiple months before we can make that conclusion. You can't just look at the upside, look at all coins pump, and think, okay, you know what? That's it. That's the end of Bitcoin ever mattering to the altcoins. No, because when a dump like that happens, like yesterday, we saw what happened. All coins took a hit too, and again, it happened to line up with Bitcoin dominance at a key level. Krusha, by the way, you should invert your Bitcoin dominance chart and turn on your weekly time frame.
Ooh, I like inverted charts. Let's go. Weekly time frame, all right, and okay, and am I looking at it using the cloud?
No, just a clean chart.
Just a clean chart. A weekly time frame, right? Damn.
So you see that key level around it's 0.03, but coming in all the way from around 7th of May 2018, we smacked up against it and we saw massive rejection over there. That's the first pullback on the weekly time frame that we're seeing since, well, 29th March 2021. So it's been good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. This is the first weekly pullback since then. Now the question is, does this reverse down, or does this just flag over here before another big run?
So my thing is that what could this mean, right? Like, let's just say Bitcoin dominance, guys, actually rallies from here. Okay, but Bitcoin, now that we've established, I mean, I still personally think that it's looking bearish.
You're right. First, let's explain to the audience what this chart actually means. This is the inverted Bitcoin dominant chart, guys. So essentially what this chart is telling you is the altcoin dominance. That's all it is, right? If Bitcoin dominance is the original chart and we inverted this essentially this is giving you an altcoin dominance chart right over here. And it's just a psychological, visually a different psychological approach of viewing the charts, right? Because we tend to like to see things through their bullish perspective. This might help people get a better perspective on how the markets are moving. And we can see that over the past like 6 to 7 weeks, altcoins have been on a run, because this is the altcoin dominance chart in essence. And we've come up and smacked up against resistance, right? But that doesn't mean everything's over. This is what I mean, Krisha, when I say we need more information.
Yeah. Weekly close is going to be information, guys. Weekly.
But Krisha, look at the daily, and that big daily rejection over there is oof.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
But things got crazy, right? I mean, we saw the volatility actually kick in. So I mean, and this is another thing, guys. When you see volatility to the upside, expect the same thing to the downside. And some of these coins that actually did get super volatile, they're going to serve it to you on a platter. Yeah. And you do not want to be caught on the wrong side of that. In the last market, the last bear market, I think it was Ethereum that really freaking wrecked so many people. Just slapped the crap out of everyone who held.
I keep telling people this, Ethereum is likely to outperform Bitcoin in the bull market, which is why we do trade Ethereum, right? We are not going to let those gains go. But when things get a little bit scary in the markets, right? Bitcoin is going to outperform Ethereum, or rather, Ethereum is going to dump more than Bitcoin, right? Those same concerns, or rather, the same factors that make Ethereum so bullish are going to get flipped on its head, and it's going to be the reason why it sells off more as well. Yeah, we can go on over to the questions, Krisha, before we wrap up the stream in the next. I want to wrap up in the next 10 or 15 minutes because we're already at the 2-hour mark. So guys, if you guys have any questions, please let us know. We don't want to look at too many charts though towards the end of the stream. I'm tired at the very least, but we are happy to take any questions in regards to just like, you know, things other than charts. So let us know.
Yes,
Arya P asks, why, Krisha, do you think BTC is bearish?
Because we lost the weekly structure. We've lost weekly structure. We're currently way underneath that weekly 21 EMA, which also has historic significance, as well as, we're currently also, we lost the daily 200 simple moving average, right? There's just way too much leaning more bearish than bullish.
Can't be bullish, sure.
So I don't want to be grabbing onto straws, because I've told you guys this before, right? At least those of you who've been with Mango for some time. I made some portfolio changing wins in the bear market. Like, it makes no sense for me to hang on to a bullish sort of case when the technicals are telling me that it's bearish. Because the thing is that there's going to be opportunity on the bearish side as well.
More opportunity sometimes. Because especially if you're looking to collect Bitcoin, it's really hard to collect Bitcoin in a bull market, guys. It's incredibly hard. In fact, it's okay. So I think Tan asked a question, and I lost the question. I've been trying to find it, and this follows up with what Krisha just said. Let me try to find it. Essentially, Tan asked, Sean, why are you opposed to taking short trades? Tan, are you still here? Could you ask the question again? That's a good question. So I'll try to paraphrase this question. He said, Sean, why you... He didn't say opposed. He said, Sean, why are you opposed to taking short trades? Is it because it just doesn't fit your something, right? And here's the thing, Tan. It's not that I'm opposed to taking short trades. In fact, I'm not sure whether you were here during the COVID dump. But we were bearish, right? We were bearish during that time, and we were taking only short trades. For me, I like to keep it really simple, where I either take only shorts or I take only longs, and anything else in the interim are quick range trades or scalp trades, right? So if I do short in a bull market, it will be a quick range trade, and it's only when the markets are going to consolidation phase on the high time frames that I will look to take a short trade in a bull market. But I look to short and short aggressively and only take shorts when things are long-term bearish, right? One of my biggest wins was this breakdown over here, my big short trade around the 6K region, where we shorted all the way to 3,000. This market over here, this is bear market, was life-changing for me. And collecting Bitcoin over there was a lot easier, right? Because again, just by the nature of it, right, you're going to be able to when you're shorting, you're essentially selling that Bitcoin, keeping the USD. You're borrowing Bitcoin, selling that Bitcoin, keeping the USD at the current price, and when it dumps, you're able to take that USD and, well, close your position. And when you do close your position, you end up with the same USD value but way more Bitcoin value, right? Because essentially you're buying Bitcoin for way cheaper. So it's a lot easier to collect Bitcoin in a bear market. But in a bull market, it's the reverse. Because you're buying, essentially your price is going up, you have diminishing returns on the amount of Bitcoin you get as price goes higher and higher and higher. So the bear markets are actually very easy to collect Bitcoin, but in a bull market you have to be that much more cautious, right? Because losing, so this answers your question, Tan. Why are you so cautious, essentially, was the gist of your question, right? Why am I so cautious? Because if you lose Bitcoin in a bull market, you have to pay that much more to get that Bitcoin back. Because if price keeps going up and up and up, well, it gets more and more expensive to win that Bitcoin back. You understand, right? But let's say we're in a bear market and you lose Bitcoin. Well, it doesn't matter because price is getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. It's easier to collect Bitcoin in a bear market. You can kind of take that risk. It's more appetizing to take the risk in a bear market to lose Bitcoin than it is to lose Bitcoin in a bull market. Losing Bitcoin in a bull market is freaking scary. That's why I'm so cautious. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Kusha, does that make sense?
Of course it does, because the thing is that as human beings, we're more, we like when things are nice and rosy equals us moving forward as a species, as a community, and forward equals up, bullish. Everything is bullish, and that's why even when you see these downtrends, okay, just pull up any chart. When you see downtrends, it's never usually a trend. When you see Bitcoin going from 3K to 14K, that was a trend. But if you pull up the last bear market and you look at the entire bear phase, yeah, we saw those trends, okay? They were very short-lived bearish trends, only for us to then see a crazy rally to the upside, putting in the next lower high. Yeah. Okay, then another trend to the downside, a shorter one, and then another crazy rally to the upside, putting in another lower high.
Exactly.
Right? But those rallies, okay, in the middle of the bear phase, are good enough to liquidate you.
Yep. Let's go and show.
Okay.
These rallies
were
crazy,
good enough.
Man.
They were freaking crazy rallies. It's only now in hindsight when you zoom out of the chart, you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, that was the bear phase. No, try playing that.
It was really difficult. That's why traders are born in a bear market, in my opinion, and hopium is destroyed during a bear market, because people who try to get too cocky or just think they're traders because they were just like a consequence of the bull market, their wins are a consequence of the bull market, they get humbled during a bear market, which is fine, right? It's again, not to disparage anyone, it's just the truth of the markets. But once you learn how to trade the bear markets and then you sit through a bull market, and losing money in a bull market is very, very possible and way more painful, actually, right? Especially if your goal is to collect the underlying asset, whether it be freaking Tesla stock, Amazon stock, or it be Bitcoin, right? Because then price runs away from you and you're like, damn, how did I end up losing money in a bull market to begin with? And two, it's that much harder for me to get my position back, right? Which is why Kusha and I often tell you guys, don't lose position, right? So this is another reason why when Kusha was getting bearish over here and she wanted to put on short positions, hedge positions, my argument against that was, okay, we can put on those hedges, but hedging against what, right? Just to gain, the truth was that we wanted to put on those hedge positions to collect more Bitcoin, because we weren't, if Bitcoin could come all the way back down to 20,000, and it's not going to affect us really. We're not going to be financially in trouble or anything like that, so we don't really need to put on those hedge positions. But if Bitcoin doesn't come down and starts running all the way to 100,000, now that's a bigger risk to us than losing USD, right? Now our financial situation is completely different compared to yours. So don't. This is why I don't give financial advice, right? At these prices, I am fine losing USD, and I am not fine losing Bitcoin, because I'm thinking 5 years, 10 years down the line, right? I won't use the word goals, but my thesis, my outlook is maybe completely different from what you guys think. So again, don't follow any of this advice. But when the time was right, I did put on hedge positions, right? I did take short trades, which was when price started dipping underneath like 6,500-ish, right? We had that thesis all the way at 14K. Our thesis was if Bitcoin loses these monthly levels, monthly 21, EMA, etc., no matter what, we pre-planned it. Always pre-plan what you're going to do. Right? At that point, that's when we get bearish. That's when we put on short positions. Similarly, this time going into this bull market, it was what? The Mango dynamic, right? Until we start closing underneath the Mango dynamic, I will not be getting, at the very least, I will not be putting aggressive shots like I would be putting otherwise in a bear market, right? I'll be trading the range if I see the opportunity. It needs to be juicy, because again, I'm very concerned about losing Bitcoin in a macro bull market.
Yep. Do not to lose position.
All right, guys. I think with that we should be wrapping up. Krisha, thoughts? Last 5 minutes of thoughts. Krisha, go.
Okay, weekly structure is broken on any rally. Look to see if we maintain, or rather we get rejected off of those resistances. If we do, we put in a lower high, then there's a good chance that it's coming down again. If we break the resistances to the upside, then
what's the resistance towards the upside, Krisha?
Okay, resistance that I have is, well, weekly, right? First of all, look for the weekly 21 EMA. I want to see how we react off of that. So far, we're still living underneath that region. Okay, so quick heads up on that. And what is a confirmation? A confirmation is a candle body close. Candle body close. Okay, wait on those confirmations. Second region of resistance that I have for you guys is bloops.
Is bloops?
No, I'm looking at the chart.
Oh,
I'm fumbling.
Can I interject quickly?
Okay, go. Interject.
So I don't think the weekly level is going to be as important as people think. The weekly 21 EMA. Apologies, the weekly 21 EMA. Let's go ahead and put on your daily 200 moving average. That's the resistance level you've been talking about throughout the stream, right? Do you agree? Daily 200?
I mean, okay, yes, but I also have been talking about the weekly 21.
Yes, okay, but for this segment, for my segment, let's just focus on. Okay, now, put in a horizontal ray at your daily 200 moving average.
Okay, I have it there.
Okay, you're seeing how it lines up at the bottom of the cloud as well. Do you have your cloud open?
Wait, you're talking about the daily 200 simple moving average, right?
Yeah, daily simple 200 moving average lines up at the bottom of the cloud that we had last month, in the beginning of the month. You see the bottom structure of the cloud? The previous flat of the cloud, all right? So it's lining up with that. All right, so now let's go ahead and put on a 4-day and put on the 4-day. It did not line up. I was hoping for it to line up at the top of the cloud. So the 4-day dynamic is coming in at around 42,000. Okay.
Oh, yes.
So I'm looking at that. Those two the zone. I'm looking at that entire zone as a key level. So I think the 4-day and the daily in conjunction are going to be important. Why? Because we're closing a 4-day in 15 hours, which is essentially the daily. If we close the daily above the 200 moving average as well as above the 4-day top of the cloud, and we kind of came and tested the top of the cloud over there on this daily candle. So I'm looking for the combination of both happening, and that's going to be a sign of strength. It's not enough, but it'll be the first sign of strength. And yeah,
I mean, I'd give more importance to your 4-day cloud actually, which comes in at around yes, hands down, because this is a level that I have that I have on my chart as well, and I've extrapolated this from the existing price action on the chart.
All right.
Right. Cool. And it lines up with wicks, it lines up with candle body closes, breaks, as well as the dynamic. So there's confluence, guys. But no, this comes in at 42,800. And I think that if we actually start closing candles over that, then there's a good chance that Bitcoin could very well rally back up to 55K. That is a plausible target on the on the horizon. That is if, okay? There's a big if. People, they tend to sort of gravitate towards only one side of the analysis and they completely neglect the other side that was proposed. That's a big if. If we close over that 42.8k region, only then will I really be expecting that next sort of push. If we start closing underneath and start meeting with rejection off of that 42.8k region, then there's a good chance that we come back down. Okay, as far as the low is concerned, I don't know, right? We'll have to sort of wait and watch and see how price unfolds. But 42.8k, guys, that is going to be a first tell on whether or not we're going to see a rally or further downside immediately and in the more immediate time frames throughout the week.
We have another really important question from AJ Smalls. He asks, Kusha, what are your thoughts on pizza toppings?
Oof, olives, a lot of olives, and chicken, and cheese, and mushrooms. Just everything. Just put it all in there.
That was essentially yesterday's pizza, Kusha. You missed the jalapenos though.
Oh yeah, jalapenos is more of your thing, Sean.
Yeah, nice. All right, so with that, any more questions? I'm trying to like scroll up so I don't, in case I missed any. Just when I thought of this, but blah blah blah. Okay, that wasn't a question to me. Oh, was Elon Musk the main cause of this bloodbath, or was it already predicted by TA? Elon is not the reason any of this happened. Elon is going to be the scapegoat. He's going to be blamed for this, but he was likely the reason people applied more pressure, or rather the big players, the market movers, the whales, call them what you will, applied more pressure onto those shorts. But you cannot blame any single event for this happening, right? Elon was not the reason. You found technical weakness on the chart way before that, and we talked about that. Like, think about it. We failed to continue over here. We turned into a rising channel. The rising channel did break down. We're seeing this as kind of like a retest of the rising channel. We had one more attempt, right? We talked about how this could have been looked at as a let me just go ahead and remove my drawings. This is a very, very clear drooping head and shoulders actually on the daily time frame, and that was another way to look at this. Right, we had our left shoulder head, right shoulder drooping neckline that broke down too. There was a lot lining up with technical weakness leading into this. So blaming Elon alone is very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not being responsible, right? I don't think Elon is the reason. So Kusha, what are your thoughts on that?
Elon, it's so funny. He's such a troll. You know, after all the blood, this guy comes out on Twitter yesterday, and what did he say? I don't remember the exact quote.
Says Elon has, like, Tesla has diamond hands.
Yeah, Tesla has diamond hands. Like, I'm just like, wow, this guy. God. This guy. But no, I don't think Elon may have contributed to the momentum push, right? Because then suddenly everyone started getting bearish. Hell, even when my mom approached me yesterday, she's like, "Oh, what do you think of what Elon said?" Like, okay, but it definitely had some sort of contribution to the momentum, the bearish momentum. The bears were able to take this down, you know, way easier. I think that added a bit more.
It's like a catalyst.
Fire.
It's usually a catalyst, yeah. Right? If they find a reason to be able to execute on their trade, until then it's distribution, catalyst event. It could have been anything. If the Elon event did not exist, it would have probably been the China ban that would have been in the spotlight. And a lot of this, by the way, guys, is like pre-orchestrated. I know it sounds like market manipulation, blah blah blah. Sounds like a conspiracy theory, blah blah, but the thing is, like, even if this is being orchestrated, we can see the signs on the charts, because while people are putting on their short positions on these assets to orchestrate a move like this, right? The China FUD, the Elon FUD, the Tesla FUD, whatever it be, if the news is all being pushed out in an orchestrated manner, before that there are insiders who are putting on positions, and even if only a few of them initially know, if they tell friends and family, the friends and family tell other people, it just, the news word gets out, and you'll see the signs happen on the charts. In fact, even with 9/11, right, there were a lot of short positions put on on the airlines that crashed, right? United Airlines and what was the other American Airlines?
American Air, yeah, I think it was
American Airlines. Both of those airlines were shorted heavily before the plane crash, before the crash happened, right? And it wasn't Al Qaeda or whatever that put on those trades. It was the friends and family associates of the members that actually put on those trades because they heard something was going to happen. And and then what happens is other technical traders notice that those trades are being put on. They notice an anomaly, they notice something on the chart, and they pile on, right? Then pile on traders add, and that's how you see a cascade and a landslide of like the event seeing follow through. So that's why you hear people say in a bull market you will see bearish news get rejected, and in a bear market you will see bullish news get rejected, because a lot of events that are probably being orchestrated and people are trying for these kind of big moves that we don't really even see come to fruition, right? A lot of this is confirmation bias. We're seeing the Elon FUD actually play through, and we're seeing the China FUD play through, and we're remembering this as FUD. But how many other events that took place, the news was pushed out and did not see any follow through whatsoever? We just kept going up, right? So you have to worry about confirmation bias as well. So Kusha, any further thoughts, or is this it?
No siree, this is it.
All right, so
You guys have our thoughts on Bitcoin, which is all you need, honestly.
Wolvie says those Protoss pylon traders are really bad guys, are the real bad guys. StarCraft reference. But with that, my name is Sean Dexter, her name is Crash Talks. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, do the mango way, do the stress-free way. Ciao.
Ciao, guys.
DJ